everybody. Thank you all for joining us for our interactive podcast to mark Mental Health Awareness Week 2021, which runs from today until Sunday, the 16th of May. So it's just going to be an impromptu chat around mental health. We've got a few little activities and questions to discuss. We would like the audience to get involved where possible as well. So if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to send them in. But as you can see, I'm joined by 4 of my colleagues here. So firstly, I'll just introduce myself. My name is Jodie. I work for One Place East on various different projects. So Alex, do you want to go next?
Yeah, so I'm Alex, and I work for One Place East originally as a peer educator. So I go into schools and talk about mental health and try and raise awareness. And then over the years, been doing other things. But it's been really so I've been trying to get more involved in mental health in general. I'm quite a proponent for open dialogue treatment now as well, and trying to get involved in working that way as well. So yeah, it's been really good. Excited to do this today.
Yeah. First time for everything, eh?
Yeah.
And you do poetry as well, don't you?
I did the creative writing workshop. Sorry, I forgot about that as well. So I did the creative writing workshop for One Place East, and so this Sunday we've got the poetry workshop, and that's just about trying to explore ourselves and our mental health through creativity, really.
Yeah. Which is fully booked, by the way, so no one try and get on it. Sally, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. Hi, I'm Sally. I am a volunteer for One Place East with their crisis groups, and also a peer facilitator with Open Dialogue in Havering as well. I've done the occasional art class as well with One Place East over Easter time, so you may see me there. But yeah, it's been really great so far.
Thank you. Isaac?
Hello everyone, I'm Isaac. I'm a peer facilitator for One Place Creative. We facilitate workshops for participants with a disability or mental health condition, and we've started a new series of workshops doing art with the Space Studios based in Ilford. And thanks for having me today to talk about mental health.
Thank you for joining us. Ian, sorry, last but not least.
Hello, my name's Ian. I've been with One Place East since 2014. I'm a service user rep. And I used to do what Alex does, go into schools and stuff. And now I sort of take part in various activities run by One Place East, and including some stand-up comedy, would you believe? So there we are. Of which more later. Hopefully not, depending on your point of view. But yeah, that's me.
Perfect, thank you. Sorry, we've just had a few comments in. So hi to Roz, Steph and Zainab, who all said hello. Yep, mental health is very important, 100% Roz. So yeah, thank you for tuning in, guys. So just to start, I just want to mention, you may already be aware, but for Mental Health Awareness Week, we do have a week-long programme of events. There is something happening every day. Some of them are already fully booked, so unfortunately you won't be able to book onto. But we do have the ones that are not. We have seated yoga, which is tomorrow from 2 till 3. We have an afternoon tea and chat, which is both available you can come into the office, and we will socially distance, of course, or you can also join that via Zoom, but you don't get free tea, coffee and cake via Zoom, guys. And then on Friday, we have mindfulness and meditation. The Saturday one is actually also fully booked, and so is the poetry, which is good, but yeah, it just means no one else can book onto them. But if you are interested in attending any of the ones I've just mentioned, then please contact me on the details below, and then I can support you to book your place. That's not a problem. So yeah, that's our programme of events. And now we just yeah, Alex, over to you.
I also thought I'd add, for if anyone's listening that doesn't know, when we say peer, it generally means that we've had our own lived experience with mental health or disability, which I think is one of the most important things about One Place East and the work they're doing. Is a lot of peers are involved, and it's being people from like that background, and that's starting to sort of work its way into the NHS now as well. They're trying to get more peers working, because the idea is you've lived it, you've got a different outlook, or you've got a more involved outlook, I guess, and you've got something different to offer. So I thought that's a really important part of the way it's done. If you've ever heard the word peer before, you don't necessarily know it means that. So yeah, I thought that was useful. And then on what we're doing, so just gonna ask like an open question, and so we can comment your responses, and also be asked to everyone in the chat as well, everyone in the podcast. So, what has supported your well-being through the last year? And I'll say it again. So the question is just for everyone: what has supported your well-being through the last year? Yeah. I can go first. I guess I've known the question, so I thought about it a little bit. And I said that, and I'm like, what has support? I've had all sorts of things. I think for me, my partner has a big part in my support as well, which has been a big thing, and it's been a bit of a crazy year. Oh yeah. I think for me, actually, a big thing has been that we were expecting a baby, and that's been a massive, crazy thing going on, and that's been going up and down. And then I sort of found my things. And do you know what? Doing the guitar specifically, I hadn't been playing it very much for the last couple of years, and then I started to share a song into the WhatsApp group every so often, and it got me playing so much more. And I think that really helped me, to be honest, to get back onto it. So I think that's a really nice one for me. Mm.
And everyone in the WhatsApp group loves your guitar playing, don't they?
Getting annoyed a bit by now.
I don't think so. You get a lot of decent comments.
Yeah. I've been really enjoying that, actually.
Nice.
Yeah. For me, I started looking into my creative side a bit more. I had more time, like everyone else did, to kind of have a bit of a rethink. I was on furlough, so I really got into my creative side of like crafts and stuff, and set up my own Instagram page, and was able to create my own logo and thank you cards and products. So that really helped keep me occupied. I suppose as well as cooking, I'm really keen on cooking, and I never really baked before lockdown, and I've become like a bit of a baker as well. So done my first rainbow cake and cooked loads of cookies and stuff like that. So yeah, just had the time to really just do that more. So really, and that really kind of kept me occupied. And I think that's one of the main things, is trying to keep occupied. Keep your mind up.
Sally, can I ask? You've made all these lovely cakes, but you haven't brought any of them into the office.
No.
What's that about? We've been open for months. You've got no excuse.
And there were still restrictions. So yeah, now you're open, I will bring you many loaves and cakes.
I'll hold you to that.
I'm sure you will. It'll be a purple cake in there, the One Place East colours. So
oh, good.
Yeah, I would like to go on from what Sally said, because for me, I also had the chance to become more creative. So I learned how to do photo editing. I got more time to do more of my video editing and learn new skills. And also I learned a really good software, Canva, from Jodie, actually. Where I've been able and yeah, I've been able to create leaflets from that, which is much easier than Publisher, and I'm a lot more flexible with the all the software and what you can use. And one of the main things which has kept me going throughout the year is, before the first lockdown, I was out a lot, so just slowed me down a bit, and it gave me time to reflect on life and just have more time to myself, really. I realized that I don't have to be in 100 different places in a span of a day. I can, take time to myself.
Oh, there's Lavinia. I don't think he's expecting too much, to be honest with you. Oh, I call her little baby Grogolina, her little Erin. Yeah, because I watched The Mandalorian and the little baby Yoda's called Grogu. And so her little daughter I call Grogolina, which is the female version, just in case anyone wondered who Grogolina was. Yeah.
I did wonder what Grogolina was meaning. So yeah, I haven't seen Lavinia for a long time actually. She's busy, I guess. Hi, Lavinia.
Yeah, very.
Very busy. Oh no,
I've been begging her to come into the office with her daughter, but she won't.
How old are your daughter now, Lavinia? Don't you can write it in, but yeah, it's got to be a
couple months, I think. 3 months.
It's been a tough year, I think, for everybody. Don't know how I've managed to get through it, but I have. I've got a wonderful partner in Steph, who's tuning in. And she sort of kept me sane throughout the last year. We kept each other sane, to be honest, throughout the last year. And it's been very tricky. But I've got, through One Place East, good offices, the stand-up comedy. And I also do a little bit of, I think people have seen, I do a little bit of news reading on the quiet, not for the BBC, because that will mean leaving this organisation and joining them. So I'm far too good for the BBC. No, that's been a lot of fun to do. Isaac's involved with that, Jodie's involved with that, and Margaret as well. Well, when she can put the cue cards up straight, that'd be good. I don't have to go like that to read them. But they've been a real bonus in spreading the word of One Place East and letting everyone know what we're about. And I think it's a fantastic thing, and we're going from strength to strength on that. So that's how I've got through the last year. I'm glad that we've got some semblance of dry weather today. It's not been the most warmest of spells, but at least we can get out there now and enjoy some good months ahead, hopefully.
Yeah, that is the hope.
Well,
so
yeah.
Comedy has probably helped you. You said you've done quite a few gigs as well, haven't you, over lockdown?
Yeah, I've done two live ones in front of an audience, and then that all obviously stopped last year. And then in September, I joined the Zoom revolution, power to the people. And since then, I've been doing online stuff, a mixture of impressions and jokes. And it's all a new skill that I thought I'd never had. So there you go. It just goes to show what can happen in a year. You can discover new, teach an old dog new tricks, as I say.
Yeah.
And I want to say, I admire growing up and doing the stand-up comedy. I think that's something that's kind of terrifying, actually. So,
well, the thing is, I've got a slight advantage because I think if I didn't do any of the presentations for this organisation, like what you've been doing, Alex, I think if I've been not very confident speaking in front of an audience, I wouldn't have done stand-up comedy at all. But basically, I got into it by accident. I did an impression one day of Boris Johnson, and showed it to Jodie. I've got the wig if you want me to put it on. Perhaps not. I think I will. Hold on.
Of course, he's got it with him.
Yes, I have.
Of course.
Yes. I always come prepared. And as you can see, we've got plenty of lovely wallpaper in here, and I've paid for it through the requisite channels. And it's all rather good. And I did this impression first of all. Jodie looked at it and thought it was marvellous. I don't know why, but she did. And then the rest is history. So there you go. That's a short.
Brilliant.
I'll tickle someone. I'll thank you. I'll give you a round of applause. Thank you very much. Oh, dear.
Are you? Oh, this leads on to the next question, actually. So I was going to say, are you looking forward to being able to go back in front of people? But that is the next question. What are you looking forward to doing as lockdown eases? So,
well, okay, I'll follow on from that then. Basically, yeah, that'd be great. After June the 21st, getting back in front of an audience again. I'm going on holiday with Steph in June, which is going to be nice. Hopefully, as I say, it might be a bit warmer by then. And getting out and about and seeing friends, which is something that I've not been able to do very much in the last 15 months. So, yeah, things are slowly beginning to return to normal. So,
yeah.
amen to that, as they say.
If I jumped into the next question too quick there, Jodie. But it was just like, anyway, so it's like that's a perfect time to say it. But,
Yeah, no.
Perfect segue. That's what I like. Yeah. Perfect segue. Just like a newsreader. Perfect segue.
Yeah, that's it.
He's literally just made the announcement an hour and a bit ago, hasn't he, with the 17th stuff that's going on. So Boris has just done that.
Oh, right, okay. Well, that might provide me with some material for the comedy workshop later on. Then. So, yes, yeah. So I'll have to look at the news bulletin when I finish this and have a look what he's said. Anyway, I won't do any more of him. I don't want to take any more of your time. So.
I did want to notice Lavinia saying 4 months. So that's crazy. I can't believe that's a mad. Like, that was 4 months ago.
Yeah, it don't feel that long, to be fair, that she had her.
It's like 4 months. They're starting to sit up and stuff. I don't know, actually. I shouldn't say that. I'm not going to know.
Sorry, we've just had a few. So, Margaret, I'll say for first, how can people join the WhatsApp group? So if anyone does want to join the WhatsApp group, just to explain, it was set up at the start of lockdown to support people through lockdown, I guess, and to just make people less isolated. Obviously, people are at home, are unable to go out or see friends and family, etc. But it's still going strong now and is facilitated by staff 7 days a week. If anyone is interested in joining it, then please contact the One Place East office. And we can get you signed up for that. That's not a problem. And then, sorry, Margaret put that Alex's guitar playing has been great. What song has helped each of you through the past year? So, sorry, I think, Alex, you need to go first on that.
I suppose I haven't actually got a specific song, but I've had to learn quite a few because after a couple of weeks, I played all the songs I knew already. It's like some new songs. I went back to a lot of songs I'd learned when I was like 17, 18 when I first started. And it was really fun, actually. So there's not really a specific song so much as there is just falling in love with the guitar again, to be honest, which has been really, really good.
Does anyone else have a song?
Yeah, for me, it's not a specific song as well, but I really like listening to sleep music to go to sleep.
Yeah.
That's weird. So yeah, so I listen to my sleep thing on Spotify, so that puts me to sleep in under 30 minutes. So that's always a good thing. So.
What sort of music is sleep music?
It's like all types. It's a bit like when you go into a spa and it's not like house or stuff, but it can be like light piano or guitar, but it's very like just soothing and
I like the rain one. You know, you can get the light rain and it sounds like the rain's hitting on the window pane.
Yeah.
I've used that before when I've struggled sleeping, and that does proper help.
Yeah.
I use that kind of music to meditate too.
Yeah.
I use it for meditations.
Yeah.
Very good for concentration.
Yeah, because I found when I was meditating, I found it really difficult to close my eyes and be in that dark space without music on as well. So that really helps me too to do that.
couple of appropriate songs in the last year, with a little help from my friends. Although that might be Boris Johnson might use that, might have a little help from my friends by the Beatles, and Counting Stars by One Republic.
Yeah, I like that song.
Yeah, it's a good song. That's quite appropriate. I know a lot of stars, not celebrities, but stars, proper stars.
It reminds me, I got a bit obsessed with the TikTok shuffle dance thing, where you like.
Oh God!
I got a bit obsessed with that. Counting Stars was one of the songs you do that. I'd do that too. So I was doing that for a while.
Go on, Alex.
I'm not. I haven't watched that group yet, but I saw it on TikTok. And I was like, I want to learn that, and it took a little while.
So I've had a couple of songs in the comments. So Margaret put Baby Love. Steph put Happy. And Ian Beaver put Jack Garrett. He does love a bit of Jack Garrett. Better. I do love that song. And Benny Shake says hi. Hi, Benny.
Hey, Benny.
Hey, Benny.
And Lavinia put, do you remember on the WhatsApp group in the early days, we had the 30-day music challenge?
Oh,
Do you remember?
Yeah.
And she was posting these things every day and all this like hard rock metal music. Yeah, I don't think my eardrums will ever recover from that, Lavinia, to be honest with you. But
No, I did learn one of Lavinia's songs that she put in. Actually, it was called.
Did you?
I think, yeah, it was a metal band playing an acoustic song, so I learned it on the guitar, and that was a really fun one actually. So I might relearn it again. It was really fun to play. A bit tricky. It was a tricky one, but thank you, Lavinia, for that one. It went into the chat at some point, quite a few months ago, but yeah.
Steph put she remembers. It was hysterical. So sorry, Alex, back to your question before we went on to songs, which was what are people looking forward to doing the most? So Ian answered, but Sally and Isaac didn't. So
Yeah.
he's one.
I suppose, like Ian, it's like seeing friends. I saw some friends at the weekend that I haven't seen for over 9 months. So it's just really great. Yeah, like a lot of my friends live quite far away, London and Colchester, and they're just not. They weren't like I wasn't able to see them. So it's be really nice to properly catch up with them. So that'd be good. Yeah, that's the main thing, really. Just getting back into contact with people.
Do you think it's going to be weird? See, I think that because we've got so used to like not seeing people and not being in groups of like having barbecues and doing that sort of stuff, when we are actually by government guidance allowed to do that sort of thing, do you think you would feel weird about being in a group of friends, or because you've been so used to not?
I think it's a time thing. I think like anything is not doing too much too soon, isn't it? So it's a gradual thing. Otherwise, it can be quite overwhelming. Listening to like the amount of voices coming at you as well, and noise level is like really different as well, like the concentration that takes. So I definitely think it's just like, for me, it's definitely going from small groups to then big groups. I was supposed to go to Glastonbury, and then that got cancelled, and it got cancelled this year. So by the time it comes around again, I'll be totally ready for that.
You'll make sure of it.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. That was that'd be really good.
All right, we've got Lavinia's put going on the school run. It feels like nothing has changed. Ian Beaver has put going to see my mum on the 20th for the first time since August and only second time in 14 months. Oh God, she's 87 and has got throw over lockdown, so I really can't wait for some quality time together. Oh, at least you're going to see her on the 20th. That'll be nice. That's the thing, is especially with the older people in your lives, like my grandparents and stuff. I wouldn't have dreamt of, even if they don't live near anyway, but Yeah, that's nice. And Steph put, nope, I'm going to be a total cuddle monster. Watch out, OPE gang.
I don't watch out at all. I'll get a
You're
clip round
already
here for that
seeing
one.
her, aren't you?
Huh?
You're already seeing her.
Already seeing it?
You've been seeing her while you've been allowed, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. I've been going out with her for about a year, yeah. It's about just over a year.
Oh no, I mean like during lockdown, because you was at a support, you have seen her on and off, haven't you?
It's been intermittent. Yeah, I would like to see her a lot more, but yeah, because of restrictions and one thing and another, it's sort of you see her for a while, then you can't, then you can, then you can't. But you know, it's been all right recently. So you know, hopefully that continues for an indefinite period.
Yeah. Sorry, Safe has just commented saying going to football, and I must admit that's the thing I'm looking forward to the most as well. Obviously I support a good team, he doesn't, but yeah, that's 100% the thing I'm looking forward to the most. Sorry, Isaac, what are you looking forward to?
As much as I've loved Zoom and things like this, it'd be nice to do a workshop where we are together in the same place. Because I always feel that hands-on workshops are people get more out of it. But on the other hand, you know, it's been quite accessible that we have had things like Zoom and Teams. But no, I'm looking forward to doing things hands-on again.
Yeah, I'll be honest, the thing I'm looking forward to about stopping using Zoom is not having to constantly say to people, you're on mute. You're on mute. On a Zoom meeting without someone telling another person that they're on mute.
Yeah,
So,
that's a tally of how many times it happens in a meeting and someone starts going.
Like, you're on mute.
And moving around a lot and things, moving the computer around and the phone around and
the shakes. Yeah.
Honestly.
The shakes, doing that and that and that.
Yeah.
And the other thing is,
who obviously you know, whenever she joins a staff team meeting, all you ever see is her ceiling light. And you're forever like, oh, Tina, we can't see you. Oh, God.
I'll tell you one thing, though, what has really been good about all these Zoom meetings is what people have got some wonderful bookcases.
yeah, it's true.
You can see people's choices in readings. Absolutely brilliant. You know, fiction, crime, autobiographies, sport. You know, it's just a library. It's brilliant.
I thought I'd say so. A bit. I'm looking forward to a lot of the same things, like seeing friends, but one of the little things that I'm really looking forward to is like just sitting in a coffee shop and having a coffee and I'm quite looking forward to that. To be honest, I'm going to do that on, I guess it's Monday. That's allowed next Monday, so I'm going to go.
Oh, gosh,
yeah, and have a coffee and sit in there and just enjoy myself. Like, so I'm quite looking forward to that.
Yeah, you just know though that when the 17th of May comes around, the weather's going to get better. Now we can sit inside. You just know that's going to happen.
Everyone's going to want to.
The weather has an uncanny knack of knowing certain dates, doesn't it? So yeah. When we went into this thing about sitting outside, the weather was cold for weeks on end, and now coming around to sitting inside, the weather's going to warm up. It's just typical, isn't it? Okay.
Although, look at the start of lockdown last year, the weather was beautiful for months, wasn't it?
It was indeed. Yeah, it was.
Which was a plus. Yeah, for those that had gardens, anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, my mum's commented saying I want coffee with my daughter too.
Oh.
Mum, I love you. Sorry, I skipped past 3 other comments just to read out my mum. Margaret's put giving my daughter a hug. Last time was the 22nd of March. No way. Well, I can't say that was the last time I gave my mum a hug, but like, yeah, that's crazy to go that long. Oh, Ian's put, I agree with Isaac. I'm getting zoomed out and really love being with people. 100%. And Lavinia's put, I would love not being Zoom bombed by the kids whenever I'm in a meeting. That does happen to her quite a lot, to be fair. And Ian's put posh apostrophe.
Apostrophe. Apostrophe, that's the new
I
word.
know it means to say coffee.
Apostrophe.
Oh god. Right, so next we're just gonna do a little quiz. Nothing too heavy. It's just true or false, but it's just to obviously have open discussion around topics to do with mental health, obviously, as it's Mental Health Awareness Week. So the first true or false question is anyone can have a mental health problem. So if people want to put in the comments as well what they think the answers are, but obviously you guys here, it's more for a discussion here. So do you think that is true or false?
100% true.
True. I'd be worried if you said false, to be fair, because if you will work within mental health. And that is, in fact, true. Thank you, Safe. Second is mental health problems are very rare.
False.
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 You'll say false, okay? And the answer is false. Congrats, you're all on 2 points. The third one is there are ways you can help yourself feel better if you feel bad. Is that true or false?
That's not on the screen yet, that one.
Not on the
Yeah,
screen.
safe slacking
Oh,
a
there we
bit,
are. Make yourself feel better if you feel bad. That's true. I'll say true.
I'd say true.
I agree.
Yeah.
Not easy, but that's true.
Yeah. Well, we just listed our own individual ways, I guess, through lockdown, the things that we did to make ourselves feel better. Number 4 is people with mental health problems are different from other people. I guess it's
False.
Right in there.
Need we go any further? Okay, you might as well play this question for £1,000.
And that is in fact false. Number 5 is it's best not to talk to someone with a mental health problem.
False.
Yeah.
False.
False again.
Which is of course false. Number 6 is 1 in 4 people will ask for help with a mental health problem in their life at some time.
True.
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 And that is in fact true, is 1 in 4. Number 6 is you can recover from a mental health problem like bipolar disorder.
False.
False.
That's a bit of a journey. Me and Sally have personal experience on this one.
Is it false?
Very good question.
Through a friend who asks his brand new wheels.
I don't know if there's a straight answer to this one, actually. Yeah, I'd like to talk about this one a little bit in detail, but at some point maybe. So you can
Sorry, did that just say true?
Good toss a coin. Hang on.
Yeah, it did. It did.
I think it depends what you say recover means. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think you're ever going to be not at risk of more episodes, so in that way you wouldn't have recovered. But if you're living and you're stable and you're doing well, then you could say you've recovered. It's just it's an
individual basis, isn't it?
Yeah, it's what you view as recovery, isn't it?
Yeah.
You could debatably never not have bipolar disorder again, but it doesn't mean you've not recovered. So I think that's an interesting. Yeah. I don't know if you can true or false that one, to be honest.
No, I'll be honest. I thought that was false. And then when it come up on the screen saying true, I looked at the sheet that I've got and it said true, and I'm like, huh? I guess it's open to interpretation, as you say, by what you mean as recover. Yeah, you can definitely manage it, would you say?
Yeah.
You
You
can
can live
manage
with
it.
bipolar disorder, but it just depends what you call recovery, doesn't it?
Yeah. And also, like, someone could just have one episode in their lifetime, and that would be it. And then
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can get other people that could have multiple episodes because of the individual basis that might be not as good as somebody else. So, you know, it varies for each different person, and that's why bipolar is so tricky, because each person's individual. So
Yeah, of course.
I'd say that's not just bipolar, but that's all mental health
all
conditions.
mental health, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
In a way, that's the main difference with physical health versus mental health. Is it's just very physical health is as well, but mental health is very individual to the point that diagnoses are so. So two people with the same diagnosis could have completely different ways of showing the way they are. I think. So I've met people that have been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and we've got completely different ways of showing bipolar disorder, I'd say. And that's the same as the term you hear a lot is a spectrum. Everything's on a spectrum, and there can be very different ends of that. And I think that carries through for all mental health.
Yeah,
Really.
I agree with depression or, you know, anxiety disorder. It varies in scales, doesn't it? So
Yeah.
it's very.
Yeah. We've had some comments. So Ian's put up, recovery doesn't always mean being like you were before you experienced a mental health challenge, which, again, it's open to interpretation of what you think recovery is. And Lavinia's put, it's like any other health problem. It depends on how it affects a person, which is exactly what you just said, that it is individual. Sorry, so the next one is only two more. Someone who has a mental health problem cannot go to work.
False.
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 False. Yep, 100%. That is false. And the very last one is people with the mental health problems can overcome their difficulties.
True.
True.
And that is in fact true. So that's the true or false quiz, guys.
Really?
Right. So yeah. So one of the things that we just wanted to mention was that on our website we have a useful contact details for mental health services and organisations, which if you scan the QR code on the screen now, which is covering half of Alex's face, you'll be able to be led to our website where you can download the contact numbers of services that can support you if you are struggling with ill mental health. Does anyone else have anything they want to add or talk about? Or
I just think over the years it's really important that we have discussions like this and make it aware that everyone does go through it and people do overcome things, and we should just be honest with each other. Because I wrote a status on Facebook that, you know, I went through quite a lot of depression, and it was one of those things where I didn't feel comfortable talking to anyone because I thought it was something I only had to deal with. But after learning the mind and things and being honest with people, it really did help. And an advocate in just speaking up and being honest with people who are close to you, because, you know, if they're close to you, they're willing to listen. And yeah, you don't want to just keep it all into yourself.
100%.
It's really good to talk, and even if you can find groups of people who it's easier to talk with, if, you know, you find it difficult talking with family, find someone to be able to talk to, because it lightens the load so much. And you'll soon find that a lot of people have gone through some trauma or some type of pain and can really help as well. So I think it's really, really useful just to chat, get it out.
I think one thing that gets sort of overshadowed when people talk about mental health is that you look at mental health through the lens of mental illness, as in
Yeah.
people that should be worried about mental health is those that are mentally ill. But really, it should be like physical health. You don't have to be ill to have mental health. So look after your mental health, even if you don't have a mental illness in particular, and treat it like so. The way you like your mindfulness and like just looking after yourself, really talking to people, being listened to, like Sally was saying as well. And yeah, that was the thing that changed my outlook on it, because I think when you say mental health, you think mental illness, but you don't necessarily think physical health and think physical illness. And I think that's an important thing.
And also not being afraid about speaking out about it. A lot of people are still afraid of stigma behind mental health illness. And so won't talk to someone they really need to, talk to, and it escalates. When it escalates, it becomes more problematic for those people.
Yeah.
So just not being afraid, like this, your mental health is just on par, like Alex was saying, as your normal kind of general health. And it's, can be so serious if it's not, spoken about or, spoken to. It can escalate to a very severe problem. And there are people that here, especially now, these days, I think there's so much more help available. One Place East, like different, places where you can reach out. The numbers in different boroughs that people can reach out to as well. Speak to put your mind at rest. So it's so important that you can talk to someone.
Yeah.
And realizing it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jan actually just put that in the chat. That's exactly what she wrote. It's okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
Had a few comments. So Lavinia's asked a question, which is, do you think there's a better understanding of mental health now that it has been highlighted during the pandemic?
To be honest, the government, in my view, or successive governments, have just paid lip service to mental health. I think it's been overlooked during this last year because of all what's happened. Mental health has been almost forgotten about, and if we're not very careful, there might very well be a severe crisis on our hands if things don't improve in terms of awareness and getting the help and getting yourself through very, very difficult times like we've just been experiencing. So I do hope I'm wrong, but I just think we're on the verge of a quite a big problem if it's not addressed now, to be honest. Controversial opinion, but that's just a personal viewpoint. If people want to agree or disagree, that's up to them.
Go on.
No, I was going to say, well, I agree, because I feel it's going to be something which is going to be a long-term thing. And this has affected a lot of people, because, people who've been indoors since March and not being able to go out, like, they're going to be scared to come out. They're not going to be running out the door because they've been indoors for so long. And it's going to affect a lot of people, especially young people. So, yeah, it needs to be addressed now.
Totally agree. I don't think the government have ever really put any substantial amount of money into mental health, and being in this crisis, I think it has shown a little bit more that they haven't put as much money as they should have been putting in.
No.
I do hope there's change. But I just hope, I live in hope. So with awareness is great, and especially during COVID, people that may never have got a mental health disorder before somehow got it through the pandemic. So isolation or abuse or whatever that is, I think it's got hold of some people who thought they would never have to deal with their issues, and now they're dealing with it. So I think the mental health has surfaced more so during the pandemic.
Most definitely. Sorry, Ian Beaver has put a comment. Mental Health First Aid England are running a campaign about workplace culture change. In 2021, we shouldn't have to leave parts of our identity behind, be that our cultural or ethnic background, gender identity, sexuality, disability, or health, where we work. Wherever you are working from, feeling supported to bring your whole self to work is better for well-being and better for business. And then he's put the link there to the site, which if you want to check it out, then visit mentalhealthfirstaidengland.org/my-whole-self. He's also commented saying over 75% of people with symptoms of mental illness in the UK do not have a diagnosis. That is extremely, extremely high.
Very.
That's worrying. That's worrying.
Yeah, it is.
That's extremely concerning, that statistic.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought it would have been that high, if I'm honest.
I actually think it might be higher than that myself, but
it's quite a difficult statistic to measure, though, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
And also getting diagnosed is quite difficult anyway. It takes you, even for bipolar, you have to usually have a few episodes before you actually get your diagnosis. It's not as simple as you have a manic episode and then you're diagnosed bipolar. There's a lot of it's quite a complicated thing, diagnosis, from what I understand. But I think one thing as well, they lean away from diagnosing too early because it can really affect someone to get a diagnosis. I think the example I was hearing about was I think it was an ADHD diagnosis for a kid I was linked to mental health directly, but it can completely change the way they look at themselves. It can change the lens to which you look at yourself. I've got a complicated view on diagnosis, actually. I'm not always a diagnosis is the best thing for a lot of people sometimes, and it's sometimes it can be freeing to be told that there's this thing, but some people, I don't know, it's a complicated thing for me, actually.
Yeah. Is that more around like labeling and like the stigma attached to it, do you think? Or
yeah, I think so the reason I thought the ADHD one was really interesting for more learning based is I think it was a friend's child was diagnosed with ADHD at school and told she'd really struggle at school and wouldn't be able to do well in the GCSEs. And being told that when you're 8 or 9 years old can really sort of colour your future and where you go in it. And I think that can be the same with diagnosis. I think and I know they don't hand out diagnosis that easily purposefully as well. Because and like we said, it's such a spectrum of things. Like bipolar can look like depression for years and years and years and years, and then you have some manic episodes, and suddenly it's bipolar depression instead. And for things like schizophrenia, and it's really and also then you suddenly live with stigma and all the stigma you've had attached. It's a really weird. It's a strange thing. I also want to talk about when Sally mentioned stigma that I saw something the other day talking about how people are trying to be less stigmatic, but a lot of it is more based around anxiety and depression. There's a lot of destigmatization of that, associated specifically with anxiety and depression, and raising that stigma. But a lot of people don't think of the schizophrenia and the bipolar and the hearing the voices and those sort of things. There's a lot of people are getting a lot more understanding of anxiety and depression, but there isn't much movement in the more psychosis-based disorders. And I think that's an interesting side to stigma and the discrimination there. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know statistically, but I would assume anxiety and depression are way more common than other, which would, I guess, it don't make it right. And 100% they should be, everyone should be working on destigmatizing any mental illness, but that it makes sense in the sense that the majority of people might not have ever even heard of bipolar, but majority of people have heard of anxiety or depression. Ian's put, agree about diagnosis, not always helpful for everyone. Some people really benefit, others it can make the issue worse, which is, is exactly what you were just saying. Wait, we've got Lavinia. Sometimes mental health is hard to look for with yourself. I cared for my mum who had mental illness and could identify with herself and other people, but when it came to myself, I couldn't see anything, and nothing was diagnosed until late teens, then again in late 20s.
Well, I mean, from a personal perspective, I've had anxiety and depression since 2008, 2007, 2008, but that is a byproduct of adult Asperger's. I was diagnosed with that in January of 2017 at the age of 44. And it changes how you're right, it changes how you look at yourself, really. I've got sort of certain quirks and idiosyncrasies associated with Asperger's that is frustrating for others to understand, but I think fellow autistic people do understand it a little bit better, but it's still a much misunderstood. I'd say it's a condition. It's a disability, actually, and it's a disability that's there right from the very start. But back when I was a kid, no one had heard of it.
No.
Can I ask you, obviously, off of the back of what Alex has said, when you got your diagnosis of Asperger's, how did you feel about that? Did you see that as a positive thing, or did you?
Well, it told me. It sort of told me, or explained to me, why I've been feeling like I have for the last 12 years, and probably maybe even longer than that. I was blissfully unaware of it. So it's, I sort of have routine of things about order and arriving early for things, and I am what I might call these days a fairly blunt talker. I never used to be, but I am now, and I'm very direct. I don't mean to be sort of hurtful and stuff, but it sometimes can come across as that, and I don't intend to be. I'm the world's most cowardly individual, to be quite honest. I'm a total pacifist, but it does come across sometimes that I can say something that can be a little bit. I'm not backward in coming forward. Let's put it that way. More than I ever used to be. But something I've got to deal with. Something I've got to deal with from now until I disappear. Not in a minute, but future. Not to disappear in a minute, hopefully. Oh! AstraZeneca vaccine.
Talking of disappearing, we have got a little collage that we're going to show. So we probably should wrap up now because we've only got 5 minutes left and we've got quite a few photos to go through. I just want to thank everyone for tuning in. Hope you've enjoyed it, and thanks to all 4 of you for being a part of it and just having such an open and honest discussion around personal experiences and mental health in general. But do check out our Mental Health Awareness Week programme, because there are still activities and workshops that are not fully booked. But we're just going to end on just playing you some photos, a collage of photos of One Place East basically through lockdown and all of the stuff that we've been up to and that we've done. And those that are tuning in, I'm sure you'll see some photos of yourself on there as well. So we'll probably say, go on, sorry.
And thank you, Jodie, as well.
Thank you. But no, thank you everyone, and hopefully we can do this again soon because it's been fun.
It's been a lot of fun, very enjoyable.
Very good. Then. Thank you.
Thank you. Right, Safer's gonna whack the collage on now, I hope.
Oh yeah. Baby, I'm sure. I just can't wait till the day when you knock on my door. Now every time when you find me, you're coming around. I'm walking on